Today we will look at abstinence-based sexual health education programs, comprehensive programs, as well as other sources of information such as parents, peers, and media.
I guess I'll never know what I missed on that first day of health class.
Don't have sex, because you will get pregnant and die. Don't have sex in the missionary position. Don't have sex standing up. Just don't do it, promise?
The definition of abstinence-only sexual education is sexual activity outside the context of marriage is likely to have harmful psychological and physical effects. Abstinence-only programs purposely do not teach young people the importance of consistent contraceptive use for unintended pregnancy prevention or condom use for STI/HIV infection prevention. It has been shown in a study by Trenholm and colleagues that youth who were taught that sex is bad outside of marriage, that these youth did not decrease the frequency of sexual encounters. The same study showed that abstinence-only programs also did not delay the first sexual encounter of students. The study concluded that the number of sexual partners did not decrease when taught abstinence programs. According to a study by Dell, Chen, and colleagues showed that 87% of students in an abstinence program had not heard of HPV, human papillomavirus. Students who are not well educated in school are not necessarily learning healthy sex practices anywhere else. Kohler, Manhart, and Lafferty found in their study of 1,719 students aged 15 to 19 that abstinence-only programs did not reduce the likelihood of engaging in vaginal intercourse, while comprehensive sexual education had a marginally lower likelihood of students reported engaging in vaginal intercourse. Canada has mandatory schooling for students, and it is Health Canada's preference that comprehensive sexual education be taught in schools, because then everyone would receive the knowledge required for safe practices. It is the opinion of Ott and Santelli that abstinence-only policies may violate human rights of young people because they withhold potentially life-saving information on HIV and other STIs.
Hey, guys.
Okay, settle down, everybody. Take your seats. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Stand. Thank you, thank you. Okay, today we will be continuing our discussion on human sexuality. And as we discussed, the official school policy is abstinence.
Now that is very sensible. I'm glad that someone here has their head screwed on straight. I think all of us should make a pact to abstain from sex. Now, who's with me, you guys? Come on. Maggie?
However, let's get real. I know asking high school seniors to be abstinent is like asking a porcupine to poop goat cheese. Yuck. So, since the majority of you are or will become sexually active at some point...
But that point should be way, way in the future, right?
Well, the official school position is that we prepare you for safe sex now. So please take one and pass it down.
I have needs.
Comprehensive sexual education teaches abstinence methods and also provides information on birth control methods to prevent pregnancy and condom use to prevent STIs. Effective sexual education recognizes that responsible individuals may choose a variety of paths to achieve sexual health. Kohler and colleagues found that abstinence-only programs had no effect on the sexual debut of adolescents. Comprehensive education, however, did marginally reduce the first sexual encounter. Having a comprehensive sexual education was not found to increase the number of sexual partners a teen had or the frequency of sexual encounters as reported by Smoke, Scott Sheldon, Johnson, and Carey. A study by Byers and colleagues concluded that teens with a comprehensive sexual education had 50% better chance of reporting they had never experienced teen pregnancy than those with an abstinent-only approach. 92% of high school students agreed that sexual health education should be provided in school.
According to Kirby, there are 10 characteristics of effective sex and HIV education programs. Focus on reducing one or more sexual behaviors that lead to unintended pregnancy or HIV infection. Employ theoretical models. Deliver and consistently reinforce clear prevention messages about abstinence, condom use, and other forms of contraception. Provide basic, accurate information about the risks of sexual activity and about the ways to avoid intercourse or use methods of protection against HIV, STIs, and pregnancy. Include activities that address social pressures. Provide examples of and practice, for example, role-playing with communication, negotiation, and refusal skills. Use teaching methods that involve students and have them personalize the information. Incorporate behavioral goals, teaching methods, and curricula that are appropriate to the age, sexual experience, and culture of the students. Must last a sufficient length of time. And lastly, it must select teachers or peer leaders who support the program and then provide them with adequate training.
While it is important to find teachers that are educated in sexual health, most school teachers learn the skills on the job either through in-service training or self-education. Many of the school boards rely on the aid of sexual health experts at local departments of public health to make the school-based sexual health programs.
In a study done by Smiley, Matika Tyndale, Boyd, and the Adolescent Sexual Health Planning Committee, a multidimensional Canadian sex education program was constructed using Kirby's evaluation of effective sexual education characteristics. This program involved classes based around anatomy, STIs, group discussion on healthy relationships, peer discussions about teen pregnancy and STIs, as well as the inclusion of parents through workshops on sexual health. The effectiveness of this improved program was tested on 240 grade 9 students from 6 Windsor-Essex public schools, and a questionnaire was administered to the students before and after 1 month of the program. The students were broken into 2 groups. 3 schools were used as a control group and 3 as an intervention group. The control group participated in their regular sexual education program instituted by their school, which varied, but missed key elements such as teen panels or parent workshops, which are part of Smiley's classes. The intervention group participated in Smiley's classes, and the questionnaires were compared to show where the program had improved knowledge, awareness, attitudes, and communication. As shown in Table 3, there is a baseline showing scores from the initial testing, which the follow-up scores from the intervention and control groups are measured against. Overall, the intervention group showed lower values, meaning a more positive feeling towards birth control, while control groups felt more negatively. Table 7 measured the students' attitudes towards traditional sex roles, where overall the intervention group showed lower values, meaning the students felt more negatively about these traditional roles. Lastly, Table 8 looks at the students' reaction to sexual interactions, such as a partner's rejection of sexual activity, where again the intervention group showed a greater acceptance of this over the control group. Overall, the intervention group program showed a positive effect on sexual health knowledge, attitudes towards birth control, traditional sex roles, and sexual interactions. However, the program failed to improve the ability to talk to others about sexuality, as well as the students' awareness of their sexual responses, both emotional and physical.
A national survey was conducted in 2002 to 2003 and looked at sexual health of Canadian youths. The sample was of 10,000 students in grades 7, 9, and 11, where 1,150 students were chosen per grade per province. Table 10 illustrates that 84 to 90% of grade 9 and 11 females and males who have had intercourse reported being protected from pregnancy by using either the birth control pill, a condom, or both. As adolescents get older, relationships are more likely to last longer. Favoring the pill over condom use with increasing relationship duration can explain the increases in teen STI rates and the declining of teen pregnancy rates in Canada. As shown in Table 12, the large majority, 83 to 90%, of both sexes in both grades strongly agree that they plan to use condoms. There was also high reports of feeling confident in proper condom use as well as comfortableness in asking a partner about condom use before sex. The main reason reported for not using a condom was that they did not expect to have sex. Other reasons included that they were using another method of birth control, had a faithful/safe partner, personal or partner dislike for condoms, as well as they were under the influence of drugs and/or alcohol. Finally, Table 15 shows adolescents increasingly reported being able to protect themselves from HIV/AIDS infection compared to the reports in 1988.
All people, including adolescents, are influenced by the media. Pardun, Lengel, and Brown found that 11% of the media that adolescents interact with is sexual in nature. The majority of sexual content comes from music.
Let's have some fun, this beat is sick. I wanna take a ride on your disco stick. Let's have some fun, this beat is sick. I wanna take a ride on your disco stick.
The most commonly viewed theme was body exposure and relationships. It may be that this influences adolescents and, in a sense, educates them on social expectations. Music and magazines tend to focus more on sexual intercourse, which can be another influence on adolescents. Of all the media measured in this study, only 6% of it promoted healthy sexual living, educating youth on condom and contraceptive usage, as well as on general information about puberty and related subjects. Analyses showed strong positive associations between exposure to sexual content in the media and sexual activity and intentions. By grade 9, approximately half of Canadian students cite school as their primary source of sexual information, according to Boyce and colleagues. In the same study, parents often state that they don't know how to teach their children sex education or even when it is appropriate to do so. A study by Feldman and Rosenthal states that adolescents wish that their parents would give them better education about sexual health. According to Buston and Wright, while children cite their parents as the preferred source of sexuality information, most parents believe that they should share responsibility with schools for providing sexual health education. Boys who reported more sexual experience wished that they knew more about sexuality and were less likely to believe that sexual health education should be a shared responsibility between schools and parents.
Peer groups offer adolescents access to health information as well as collective frameworks for interpreting this information. In regards to peer influence, studies showed that students most often cited personal experience, friends, and parents as the main or preferred sources of information. Yet the highest preferred source of information about pregnancy, sexual activity, and STI prevention was school teachings. A study by O'Donnell and colleagues found that youth who report greater peer involvement in sex and more positive sex outcome expectancies have been found to be more likely to initiate sex at a younger age.
Conclusively, adolescents with large networks and many opposite gender friends are more likely to have romantic relationships than other adolescents, suggesting that mixed-sex cliques and crowds provide easier access to romantic partners in which dating is initiated.